Hello, this is Paige from We Make Stuff Happen, and today I'm going to show you how to make a new plan book page on your website. So thank you for sending me some stuff to get started. So we're going to do this Orcas Island one to start out, and you're going to need the PDF, but we'll also need to make a thumbnail that people will click on to get to the PDF. So let's open this PDF in Photoshop. And of course, if you're making the PDFs in Photoshop to begin with, you can always use your PSD file. So this is just going to load. Okay, so now you're going to want to make sure the crop to says media box and that this says RGB color in the mode area. And it's going to open pretty huge, but that's okay because we can save it differently. So just hit OK, and now we've got the PDF opened up. So now to make the thumbnail, we're going to go to File and Export, and then Save for Web. And then this window pops up, and here we can make the file size quite a bit smaller for a clickable thumbnail. I like to use JPEG, and most of the time for a small image, you can turn the quality down to about 75. This just makes the file size smaller, and you don't want to have a lot of big images on your website because it'll slow it down. So now, so it's JPEG, quality about 75 or so. And then you're going to want to go down to image size. And before you start changing the values here, just make sure this this little kind of link, like chain link icon, is on. So then that will keep the proportions of the image the same when you put a new value in here. So on the original site, the thumbnails to go to the plan book PDFs were 300 pixels wide, and I think that's a pretty reasonable size. So I'm going to just use that. If you decide you want them a little bigger, then just make sure that all your thumbnails are the same so that they line up nicely when you put them in. So I'm just going to do 300 in the width, and then because this is linked, the height changes automatically. So I'm going to hit save now, and we will just add the word thumbnail at the end so that we know where this is. And then I need to save this to my Tamlin folders so that I can find it. Here we go. Okay, so now we're going to hit save. Okay, so now I've got, we don't need this one yet. So now I've got a nice small thumbnail that's going to be clickable to lead to the full thing. And we don't need to save the PDF because it was fine the way it is, and we have our JPEG. So that's how you'd get the cover for a thumbnail in Photoshop. I'm pretty sure you guys have it, but let me know if you don't anymore, and we'll figure something else out. But this is the way I'd do it for now. So now we're logged in to the back end of the website. And what we're going to want to do is go to Pages and then Add New. Okay. So I believe, so let's visit the site. And this is going to be, just need to remember the name of this one. So it's West Coast Contemporary. Okay, so I'm just going to put draft in the title so that you know that it's not the real one, so that it won't, it'll make a different link. And we can, once this is done, I can show you how to do redirects so that these links all match and replace the old one. But we'll just cross that bridge when we come to it. I'll get you to finish building this page first, and then when you're ready, I can make you another video about actually getting it on the site, because I just feel like that's probably too much info for where we're at right now. So yeah, and also I should have mentioned this in the beginning, but I'm definitely open if any of this is, if you're stuck anywhere while you're doing this, then you can always send me an email, and I don't mind making another quick video to help solve your problem. So, okay, so now we've got our PDF and our thumbnail, and we're going to want to hit this purple button that says use the Divi Builder. So what we're going to do in this case, I think we're going to just build from scratch, and the first row we're going to do is going to be one column and text, because on the original there's some text at the top. So I just added a row that's one column, and then hit the text option to add a new module. So now I'm going to just copy this text over. This page is a little weird anyhow, because there's supposed to be a right sidebar there, but it's just not showing up. And I'm not sure why, so it's kind of good that we're replacing it anyhow. So now we've got the intro text to the plan books here. This might be a bit old, so if you want to change it, you can go ahead. So you know what I'm going to do? Another thing that's really helpful when you're building is to add an admin label so you know what everything is. So I'm just going to say intro text, so we know that's the text at the top. So now if we save draft, we can take a look at how this looks. And so to preview, you're just going to have to open this link in a new tab to see what we're looking at. Okay, so now, perfect. So now we've got that same intro text at the top, and there's not any wonkiness with the sidebar. I don't know if you guys need one. If you do, let me know and I'll put it back. But I'm just trying to keep things really simple for now, so that you can get a good start on this. So now we're going to need to, if we look at this, we've got 3 of these per row, and a little, I guess we've got a little text here that says click on image to view PDF. So I guess we could put that in another text box here with just, so let's paste this. I don't know if, I'm just kind of making that more of a sentence. I don't know if it's, I don't know. You can change this if you want, but I just feel like it might make more sense like this. So let's see what that looks like now. I mean, it's not going to have the gray bar, but I'm not too concerned about that. I think it's probably okay, because, yeah. So now we've got a little intro, and yeah, so this is all left aligned. You can center the text if you prefer, if you think that would look nicer. I'm going to leave it, but I'll just show you how to do that in case you feel it would look better. So if you want, you can hit up here to align in the center. And if you do that, just probably you're going to want to align this little bit to the center as well. But I think left aligned is pretty okay for what we're doing. So the thing about drafts is that, I'm sorry, I'm getting a call. I'll call him back in a bit. So personally, if I'm working on something that I don't want to be seen right away, you can just keep hitting the save draft button, but I'm always worried that I'm going to accidentally hit publish and it will be public and it's not ready. So what I like to do is under this visibility section is hit edit, and then we say private. And private means that someone has to be logged into the website to see the page. So it would be only you and me and, your team and my team and whoever is a user. So this won't be visible to the public. So I just find that's kind of a nice safety net because I always want to hit this blue update button rather than the save draft. So I'm going to just do it like that because we don't want this to accidentally get published before it's ready. So it's time to actually add the design now. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit this gray to, no, sorry, not the gray. We're going to add like a new section here. So the blue. And then hit regular, because that's what we need. And then rather than choosing this one this time, because there's going to be 3 in a row here, we're going to hit the one that's divided into thirds. And now this is going to give us like 3 columns in a row. So let's take a look at how, was it above? Yeah. So the description is going to go above. Okay. So first we're going to want to put in text before we put in our image. So I know I had this here. So we got our Orcas Island. So we've got that. And I think they aligned these to the center. So we're going to align center. And I think it looks like it might be bolded as well. So you can put the B up top to make it bold. Okay, so now, and again, the admin label helps. So Orcas Island text, that's your text for Orcas Island. And then below that, we are going to click the gray plus to add another module underneath the text, and this time we're going to choose image. Okay, and then here is where you're going to want to find your thumbnail JPEG that you made earlier. Drag and drop that over here. This is going to upload that, and okay, didn't seem to go, so let's just try that again from this screen. I'm sure you know a lot of this already, but I just want to go through every little thing. Oh, it was there. I'm sorry. I just haven't had enough coffee today. Okay. We're doing this on the fly, so it's not polished, but as long as I help. So yeah, so now we've got our Orcas Island thumbnail. It's good for search engine optimization to add alt text, which is not visible. Same with the title. These aren't really visible anywhere. It's just so that when Google is indexing images, they can't read an image, right? But they can read the alt text. So that just helps to add a little description in there for your SEO. Okay, so now we've got this image in. And another thing, we're going to need to scroll down and let's align it to the center. So that's just in this media library when you have your thumbnail selected, put in your alt text, scroll down a little bit, choose the center alignment, and make sure the size is full size because that's a pretty reasonable size anyhow. So then we'll say upload, and this will be aligned center just like the text up top. And right before we save here, we need this to link to the actual PDF, right? So I'm gonna open a new tab here. So if we want the PDF to be linkable on the site, we first have to drop it into the media gallery here. So let's upload that. And now we've got our PDF on the website. And if you just look in this copy link section right down here, copy that. That's your direct link to the PDF. And image link URL. So that's the PDF link here that you just copied. And then you're going to want to open it in a new tab. So make sure that option is selected as well. And then let's just label that so that you know, okay? And then hit OK. And, oh, I thought I did a row of 3. Oh, I've got a new one. I don't know how I did that. Sorry. We need that to be below. I'm not sure what I did, but that's okay. As long as this is what you want it to look like. So what is this image? I'm not sure. Sorry. Something weird went on. But yeah, you want the text above, image below that links to the PDF. Make sure to align everything to the center so it looks nice. And now we're going to hit update because it's private like before. We don't have to worry about updating it. Nobody's going to see it but you and me. So now you can see this is coming together. It looks pretty much the same as before. We've got the description nicely centered up there. And then click this, opens the full PDF. So now that should give you a good start, but let's just duplicate these and fill out the whole row just to, that way when you take over, you'll just have to edit these with the little gear sign, as you saw. You'll just have to edit each of these, change the label too, just so it doesn't get confusing. But I just want to make sure that when we put everything in a row, it's still going to look nice. So I'm going to pop that down there and then hit update. Okay, so now, yeah, these are a nice size and they're all linked. So you'll just have to swap out the info in the same way as before. And, you know, now that I'm looking at it, I'm wondering, like this doesn't quite match up with the center. And I'm a little fussy about things. Like, I didn't notice before, but now that I'm looking at it all in a row, this might look better left aligned. So I'm going to change all these to align left instead of center because it's not quite working for me. This is why we always just, as you're working, just see how it looks, make sure nothing's thrown off. I'm not sure why it's not centered, but that's okay. I think it'll be just fine, aligned to the left. Yeah, so still not ideal. You know what I think it is, actually, and this is just getting a bit fussy, but there is, on these PDFs, there's a little white border, and I think that white border is making it not look as centered as it could be. Yeah, this is on the fly. It's a bit rough, so I apologize. But that's kind of what web design's all about, is trying different things and learning as you go, honestly. So I'll change it back to center. I suppose if it super bothers you that these are a tiny bit off center, you could always, when you're making your thumbnail, you could always crop it right at the red and get rid of that white border. But I don't know if it super matters. This might be just me nitpicking, you know what I mean? Yeah, so, okay. So I'm pretty good with it, honestly. I think I was just being probably a bit too picky, but you could always crop the thumbnail right at the red, as I said before, if you find it really annoying, and then that'll make it centered. I'm sure. I'm pretty sure that's what's kind of throwing it off. Yeah. So now, once you have like a full row all done with your new content, you don't have to really start from scratch. You can just go into this green section for the row and hit this little duplicate icon, right? The little squares. And then that makes another row exactly the same as the one above. So if we update that, we can take a look. I just find this easier. Then it's easier to swap out text, links, and images than it is to build a new row a lot of the time. So let's take a look at how that looks. And yeah, it's lining up pretty good. So all you need to do is switch out the text, the thumbnail, and the PDF link. And then you can clone your rows and keep going. So hopefully this helps. And again, as I said before, you can always reach out to me if you find anything confusing or if you get stuck when you're working on this. I'm available 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, so you can always send me an email.